This is WFO Radio.
Hey, everybody. The return of NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing is this weekend. I'm Joe Castello, and this is WFO Radio Live. We got a great show for you. As we get ready, we're going to connect with the three-time Mellow Yellow Top Fuel World Champion, Antron Brown, who's out there at Lucas Oil Raceway warming up cars, getting ready for a big race weekend. Oh, yes. Also on the show, he'll be driving the Tim Wilkerson #2 funny car next weekend. Chad Green, Pro Mod racer. He's had a very eventful career. He's going to be joining us on the show. And finally on this show, for you Pro Stock fans, we got 22 Pro Stockers there this weekend, 22, and a bunch of young guns, young drivers coming up like Kid Chaos, Kyle Koretsky, driving for KB Racing, going to be joining us on WFO Radio. So start a watch party if you're out there on Facebook. If you're YouTubing, subscribe, click the bell, share the show. We got to let every NHRA drag racing fan in the world know that they need to be locked in to the happenings at Lucas Oil Raceway here this weekend. Now, it's all happening because of our great sponsors, the people who put us on. Literally talking about Marvin Rodak and Rodak's Coffee and Grills.com. Hot sauces, spice rubs, outdoor kitchens. Amazing grills. They do it all. But really, for a guy like me, I start every day with the little Rodak's Coffee. Go to Rodak's Coffee and Grills.com. Total Seal Piston Rings. The leader in ring seal technology. Their gas-ported piston rings doing a great job. They've got gapless rings as well. From stock eliminator to Formula One, Total Seal fits the rings. And they're doing some great promotions as well. Go to TotalSeal.com. Very happy to have them involved in the show. Folks at Nitrofish Racing giving you 20% off because you listen to WFO Radio. What are they thinking? WFO20, the promo code at nitrofishracing.com. Thanks to Randy Lynn and Bo for that. Of course, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure. You could learn to drive a top alcohol funny car, super cop, super gas schools, smaller class sizes now thanks to social distancing, but that just gives you a little more time with Frank. And you can learn to be a champion race car driver at frankhawley.com. And finally, samtech.edu. We're working on a brand new episode of Factory Stock Podcast as we get ready for the Factory Stock Showdown cars next week in Indy. But right now, it's all about the next generation of machinists, CNC machinists, motorsport EFI tuners, programmers, all of that, going through courses at samtech.edu to learn the trade. And just like that, we're making it happen. The first NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Race since the COVID coronavirus crisis. And we are now back, and we are joined by the three-time Mellow Yellow Top Fuel World Champ, Antron Brown. AB, welcome back.
Joe, what's happening, baby?
Oh, man. There he is. So Antron Brown has always been very special to WFO because, like, whenever we come up with an idea, like Antron's one of the first people to get put through the ringer first. Like we run it on him first. And you are the first ever guest on our WFO live streaming show. And since then, we have had great times. And I just want to thank you for being willing to attempt something new with WFO Universe.
Not a problem, brother. I love being on. And, man, hey, it's just easy to talk to you, brother. It's easy to talk to you. Look at you putting the bottom banners on the screen.
Banners. Got it all.
Look, come on, man. Look, you're doing it right, baby. You know, and the thing about it is this is what this time off has done to all of us. It's caused us to invent and come up with some new stuff and dive in deep. And I just can't tell you how excited I am just to be back out here at LORP, Lucas Oil Raceway Park, and just to get to kick off, to rejuvenate and kick off this 2020 season, brothers. It's time to go, man. I'm very motivated, pumped up. You can see everybody out here with smiles. You can't see the smiles, but they got big white masks that are smiles.
Right.
Smiles for miles. But it's still good, man. You can see the energy from everybody. Everybody has got a whole new mindset, and everybody's ready to get back to racing, Joe.
Oh, that's exciting. We got some people out there on Facebook saying, what's up, wishing good luck. Everybody is happy, and this is such a big moment. I want you to elaborate on the emotions of the people out there in that, you know, you're a perfect example. As we're watching NASCAR, they get to race. We're not racing. It's got to be so frustrating. We started the season, but now is your time to capture the imaginations of fans at home on Fox, but more importantly, to get back together with your team. And just speak on that a little bit, Antron, like to be back at the track, see the rigs, see the cars, see the people, and know that this is the time for NHRA to return.
just to be back with our teams are our other family. It's our family away from home. And to come back out here and see all of our guys and girls, and we even got old members back on the team, because we bought the Sarge out, you know what I mean? So Tony's back out, and we got our cars side by side, and I've got Mike and Marla, they're back over there. You got Benny that used to work over at John Force's at Roper Karate for years ago. We got Wayne Waite, who used to work on my team, back on that car. We got Julio, you know what I mean? He's back, man. So we've got so many good people back and ready to go back racing, man, and pull some other people from our shop that's working on the race car. So it's like we're going to get our feel these next 2 weeks of just doing a whole bunch of stuff, just running 2 cars and collaborating and just getting everything working. And I'm telling you what, we're going to be seasoned after these first 2 races to really attack the rest of the season. And that's how we want it, man, right now. I mean, I tell you what, I've never been away from drag racing for so long. I've been racing with my kids the last month and a half. Like, we actually went 4 weekends straight in a row of racing junior drags with the kids and being at Test and Tune here. But to be back and have the nitro cranked up, I think we'll have to sell, Joe, we're going to be able to sell special tickets. I mean, if they find out that this nitro methane burning kills that airborne virus, boy, I'll tell you what, NHRA, man, you ain't going to be able to stop them coming in the gate, man. They're going to be out there sniffing that nitro like this.
It's the cure. It is. It's the cure. It's funny that everyone speculates about that. That's the first thing drag racing fans like, what will nitromethane do to that? I'm excited. We talked to Tony. You mentioned Tony Schumacher, and he was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he was so fired up. He's got so many fans, and they, how it is when you're a fan of someone, you're a fan of them. And when they're not racing, maybe you have a secondary person. But for his fans to have someone that they care about racing again. I know you were a big part of the deal. He gave you a lot of the credit. He said that, you were the tip of the spear on the deal, like making it happen. His dad, of course, the Don, but that you were cool and Brian is going to tune both cars.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not for me. It's just having the right partners involved. And, hey, my hat's off to Steve Bryson, his wife Samantha, and their whole family. Global Electronic Technology is the one that put up the money to make it all happen. It was just an idea. I was just sitting there stewing up, and we've been stagnant sitting there. And I'm like, man, you know what? I said, man, what can make our sport come back with a bang? You know what I mean? So you're talking about the all-time winningest top fuel driver in history has been sitting on the sidelines and doesn't have a deal. And then Global Electronic Technology brought him back with it, and also with Toyota TRD is giving the support, the Riding folks. And then also you've got a whole bunch of other people, Matco Tools over there. And then you also have Tony Scal's father with their mat company. Like, they have all these boards and stuff that make these mats and these wood mats, and they're on board. Like, so all these people come together, and then you've got Don orchestrating it all, making it happen for Tony. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like, everybody, like it took a whole gambit of people to come together, and that is what makes our sport what it is today. And I mean, people reaching out from the woodworks going, hey, I want to be a part of that. I want to help out. And that's how you make these types of deals happen. It wasn't for me. It was just for me just saying, hey, this is the idea I have. You know what I mean? And I know Don, he already had it in play where he wanted to bring 2 fuel cars to these first 2 Indy races. You know what I mean? It was his deal that triggered it first, where he goes, I want these 2 cars. I still don't know how we're going to make them run. We got to get some funding to make them run. And I stewed on it for a couple of weeks, and I called him and said, I have an idea, Don. And I said, if you're willing, let me do this or do that. He goes, go for it. And then I talked to Pat Galvin from Global Electronic Technology, and brother, and he stewed about it. Then he talked to Steve, and before he goes, they were like, we're all in. They're like, we're going to bring the champ back. And you know what I mean? The thing about it is they brought the 8-time champ back, and it's going to be a big deal right here. And I mean, he is geared up, Tony. He's in great shape. He's been working out, and he's fueled up, man. So I can see a lot more things happen in the future where this, hopefully we'll see how we do these next 2 weeks. Maybe something comes of it where it's a full-time gig. We don't know, but we'll see what we get through these first 2 weeks if we can make it happen. And Brian's geared up, Mark's geared up, Brad, all of our Matco Tools, Global Electronic, Toyota, Hankster boys are like geared up, brother. They're ready to go.
That's great. First of all, it doesn't surprise me at all that Pat Galvin had something to do with the deal. Like one of those, characters that's behind the scenes now because he wants to be, but
Yeah.
guiding so many things within the sport.
He's a brilliant individual, and think about, people don't realize is that you talk about Pat Galvin. He goes back to the Shirley days. He used to work on Shirley's car with O'Toole back in the day, so he has a lot of history in this sport. And then he's got his whole family, like both his boys. One of his boys works on the Coletta's team, and then you got Trevor who works with him side by side at Global. I mean, their whole family, the nephew, all of them work together, man. It's actually incredible about what everybody's doing to make this happen. And Steve, he is just like, man, he's just.
We lost Antron. Antron got a phone call. That's what happened. You got a phone call.
Oh, you got me? Yeah, phone call tried to come in. That was my wife trying to call me. Don't understand. You know what I mean? Always messing me up. But all these people are making it happen. Steve, Samantha Bryson, everybody's coming in. And then when you got the Toyota boys coming in, go, hey, man, we'll be a part of that. Give a support vehicle, sponsor the rear wing. And it's unbelievable. And I just love it. I just love it.
All right. So let's get into the layout of what people can expect. You're out at the track. You warmed up a car already. You're getting the flow going. You're going to have limited fans. That's one of the reasons I'm not there. I'm very disappointed I'm not there, but I'll be watching and, there in spirit. Bless you. And but it's going to be a little different experience for the fans. Limited numbers. We're not going to have Lucas Oil Series cars. We're going to have a couple of local Top Sportsman, Top Dragster deal. It's going to be a Mellow Yellow Series show, 18 top fuelers, 18 funny cars, 22 pro stockers. So it's going to be full field. But what have you noticed that's a little different?
What I noticed is that, it's like, of course, we're back at Indy, but the only difference that you feel is that it's a lot of excitement going on. You're just seeing everybody wear a mask, man. It's like you're looking out there. Everybody's being safe. Everybody's doing the right thing. And it's going to be adjustment for everybody because everybody wants to be free. You know what I mean? It feels when you wear a mask that you're not free, but we know that we're keeping each other safe by doing it. So I think that's the biggest change that you really see out there. And you see everybody else pulling in this morning. And they pulled in. They were all stacked up, lying deep out to the road, brother, to get in here because nobody could set up until today. So it's like all the race teams only could set up today. So at 8 o'clock, the gates open. Brother, it felt like, you know what it felt like? It felt like it brought me back to like my sportsman days where like, it wasn't all this preliminary stuff where you come to a normal pro race, like the guys get here on Wednesday night. Thursday, they have all day to laggy gag around, set up. Then Friday, like, you start making runs, you warm up, and you got the two qualifying runs. Now you pull in. Them jokers were setting up this morning, and then by 12 o'clock noon, they were going down the track testing. It was like here, bam, boom, boom. And I think that's the coolest feeling that I see is that everything's happening now. There's no waiting or sitting around. It's like on demand, like bam.
Very exciting. All right, so let's talk about the way it's going to go down. Testing, it's open testing tomorrow, right? So you guys are going to, How are you going to take advantage of that? Like, do you have a plan, 2 runs, 3 runs? What you don't want to overdo it, obviously, because you're planning on going 4 rounds on Sunday, 2 qualifying sessions on Saturday. So how do you handle that?
Well, the thing about it is our game plan is that right now, tentatively, we're going to make 2 runs with my car and 2 runs with Tony's car. And we're going to do them back to back, the same as Leah's going to do that with Corey McClenathan. So basically, they're going to go back to back, and that's what we're doing so we can get all of our guys back in that groove. And hopefully, it only takes 2 runs for each car. You get what I mean? If we need an extradition one, then we have to, hit the boss man up and say, now we got to make another one. But hopefully we could do it in 2, and then we have 2 qualifying rounds on Saturday, and then we go to eliminations round. So with that being said, I think that we should be good, and we start the cars up today. So we got all the teams broken in by warming the cars up today, and we'll get after it tomorrow, man. The thing about it is that us drivers, man, we got dust the cobwebs out, man. We haven't stepped on the gas for like over 4.5 months.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the biggest thing. You know what I mean? I know some other guys went testing up in like a US 131 in Martin, Michigan, made some laps, and there's people out making laps today. So you guys, some teams will make 3 or 4, 2 to 4 laps today, and he might make 2 to 4 laps tomorrow to get ready for this weekend. So it's like resetting the whole season all over again. and we're just going to try to do as smart as we can and use the data from the other cars that we're running. You get what I mean? So we'll still be getting 4 runs, but we're going to be doing it with the 2 different cars where we can hopefully we can grow in these next 2 weeks, and we'll get a lot of data that we can grow from and be better from.
And then the U.S. Nationals is going to be amazing because everybody's got so many test runs. Now, Edwin wants to know about Tony running your other car. He's stirring the pot a little bit, right? He's an Army veteran. He's allowed. Who's better on reaction time, you or Tony?
What kind of question is that?
He's a veteran. He's allowed to ask whatever he wants.
What kind of question is that? That's like, did you see that Michael Jordan documentary?
Yes.
Did you see that Michael Jordan documentary?
Of course.
Remember Ahmad Rashad asked him, hey, Jordan, like, this is when he was on the U.S. Olympic team. He came in the hotel and he asked Jordan, he goes, hey, Michael, hey, man, so if it comes down to it, who takes the last shot? Michael looked back like this, like, what kind of question is that? Me. Stupid question. And walked off.
There you go, Edwin. Three
That's
times
right.
he just said, what's up? And AB is, he's an athlete and he's been going, so I agree.
You know what I mean? Hey, you never ask the driver that, man. Every driver is going to pick themselves, man. If they're a true competitor. I don't sugarcoat nothing. If I have to line up against any of these jokers out here racing top fuel, funny car, pro stock car, I don't care. We race super cop. I got my button handed to me on a reaction time deal because I was using a button. I should have used my foot pedal because I red light and messed me up. But anyway,
You're still thinking about that.
I'm gonna pick me. I'm gonna pick me every time. And now, ever since we did it, that's all I've been doing is practicing. I'm
really?
ready for Peter Biondo again. I'm ready for him next time. I'm ready for him.
You want to call him out right now? Here,
I'm ready for him, baby.
Right
I'm
now.
ready for him.
Antron Brown calls out Peter Biondo on WFO. Go.
Hey, let me tell you something. Peter, I'm ready now, baby. I'm ready for it. You tore us all up that day. I'm ready for it now. I'm ready. No jitters, no nothing. My butt is ready, baby. Ready.
I love that you're still worried, but you're still concerned. That's in here. The Terminator.
Well, any competitors, Eric Enders was the same way. And all those guys that are button racers and sportsmen, man, they're on point. You know what I mean? Like, I work on reaction time to be consistent, but I don't do it with my hand. I do it with my foot. So it was a different deal. You got to hold the button a certain way and bury it down and set the tree different. And I'm trying to light it up, and then I'm red lighting with 002s. And then once you red light, you're pretty much done. You get a 25 light as a red light, so you're done. So,
and for those that
now
don't
I know the game. I know the game now, man. I'm gonna be in the sportsman pit playing with the boys all the time.
That's good.
I love them.
There's a lot of that going on over there. For those that don't know, right at the beginning of COVID, they had a special all-stars, pros versus Joes practice tree race. And it was Antron and Erica and others versus the best of the Lucas Oil Series Big Money Bracket Race Series. And those bracket race guys, they're really good.
But you know what? Peter Biondo, my homeboy from New Jersey, he took everybody to school.
Yeah.
And he did it on demand. Like, he wanted by just cutting 008s and 007s. But if he wanted to, you could tell he could make that thing go 002, 003, but he didn't need to. You know what I mean? And we had Bugatti out there. We had everybody out there. Some youngsters out there that was lighting it up. I mean, there was the best of bracket racing, the best of pros. And then I was like, you know what? I should have used my foot pedal, man, or my old pro style bike clutch pedal, because I could make that thing go dead on. But I mean, them jokers were for real, man, for real. And if you was cutting teen lights, you might as well just hang it up. You got to be 00. 00s, or you going home.
That event was the reason I put the tree in the studio. Like, that got me motivated to get my practice tree out, just in case if I ever get stuck in the pits. Maybe I'll give a little money away. All right, let's talk championship now. No countdown.
Yes.
Every round matters. That's different this year. Every round matters. First round on Sunday, whenever that's going to be. Somebody says it's going to be 9 a.m. Is that true? I don't know about that. Is that?
Yes, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. on Sunday. Yes, because it's live television, and we should be running finals around 2 o'clock.
Got it.
So
what do you think about that, number one, and that no countdown, which means you could be winning the championship with a first round win here. Like, every round goes to the total that matters.
Man, you know what? I think that's what makes it special. It brings our sport back to what it is, man. And you got to be good all the time. You just can't show up and find a groove with 6 races left. I mean, the countdown was cool, but my own personal opinion, I said it all the time. There's 2 things that I would like to have to see in our sport. And I think this will make our sport better. This is my opinion. Everybody's got their different opinions. Everybody wants it this way, that way, right? For one, the way you should qualify for every class, from even the quick 16, like top dragster down to funny car, pro mod, pro stock, motorcycle, all of them. What I think it should be is, when you qualify, how do you win or lose a race, Joe? Reaction time with ET, right?
Yeah.
Well, you should qualify that way. You should qualify the same way that you win a race. That's my thing. And make it easy for the fans to understand. Like new ones, if you're watching on TV, why should we have to explain to people, well, this car here went a 4 flat. This one here went a 395, but the 4 flat won. Why? Because of reaction time. Well, you should just add it up together and show that ET on the board. You know why they won, because the slower time won.
Right.
Well, people don't know what the people reaction time is because they can't see it.
Right.
So just add it all together. So now what happens is, you could have somebody that could went out there and ran a 363, but if they have a 150 reaction time, and somebody else out there went out there and ran a 366 but had an 050 reaction time, that one with the 050 and 366 is going to be your number one qualifier.
Yes.
You get what I mean?
I get it.
Same thing with pro stock car, same thing with pro stock motorcycle. And that's how you set the field.
You want to include driver ability in the qualifying process. He's getting a phone call. This phone call on Antron's phone brought to you by Matco Tools. Antron Brown.
Antron Brown, I'm back. Can you see me?
Not yet. I don't see you yet. Keep
Why
looking.
is he coming back?
I don't know. Sometimes it's weird. Oh, there's a thing. Let me.
I'm trying to get it to come back.
It's all right.
Let me leave and bring
me kick you out.
me back.
I'll bring you back. There it is. And we got our next guest. Chad is on there. Chad, I see you down there. Chad Green going to be on. We're going to talk about this. But Antron Brown, breaking big news on WFO radio. He calls out Peter Biondo, the Terminator, one of the greatest of all time, for another practice tree race right here on the show. The Mellow Yellow series, obviously secondary to Antron, still stewing about a crushing defeat in the practice tree event that happened at the beginning of the COVID-19 catastrophe we're all living through. But that is a different story. And then he breaks news. He says he wants drivers' ability to be included in qualifying. And I like it. Now you are back. He's back.
I'm back. See, that was David Kennedy from NHRA calling me. I might have just got in trouble.
Oh, you're doing media responsibilities, man. You're on WFO. Just tell him what's up. Hey, I like your idea. I think that would be, now is the time for everyone to put on the table the best ideas that they've got, because we are going to be in front of a big audience that is at home, but there's no time to waste anymore. You got to just go with the best ideas and send it. And that's where we are. I like your idea. I think people could be onto it. I like it. The driver matters. Like a good driver matters.
Well, it matters on race day, but it doesn't matter in qualifying. That doesn't make no sense. Like in any other sports you do that you drive a race car, it always drives because you have to drive it a certain way to get to ET. You get what I mean? So I think it should be a full package deal where it'll make people work and be better. You get what I'm saying? It's just, this is my own thoughts. And then I'm in favor. I do like the playoff format. And but the thing about it is, I think that we should have, like, you know how you do in other sports, you have a normal season champ.
Yes.
Then you have a playoff champ.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like, you're the normal season champ, and I think that this should be split half and half. You get what I'm saying? Or if you do have a real playoff, let's say you have a playoff and you go, we're going to do a 6-race playoff. Well, in the 6-race playoff, maybe only the teams that make it race in, like the top 10. Maybe the top 10 only race the last 6 races, and then you only qualify 8 to race on race day. And you only got 3 rounds of racing. The show's shorter, and you could show more things on. You could show the whole show live on TV.
Oh yeah, I'm against that though. Anything that's less, no, I'm against less. I'm always for more.
You know what I mean?
I'm always for more.
If not, you could make the top 16, and they got to race the last 6 races.
Yeah.
You take the top 16 teams throughout the year, and you race and they show up in every race, and you race them all out like that.
Interesting. Now, you've been doing your own show. That's another thing during this COVID crisis. Like you mentioned, innovation. One of the things that you've done is you started a show like this, and Steve-O was on it. You guys have been having a lot of fun. What has that been like, running your own show, like having to come up with stuff on a regular basis, and then you're on the air and you got to keep going? And how have you enjoyed doing that?
Well, I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I enjoy talking to people, but what I like to get out of the people, and on my shows, what I did was, we didn't talk about racing going down the racetrack. You get what I mean? What I tried to focus on was, is pulling out the stories that people have never heard. You get what I mean? Like we talked to Steve. I talked to him about his love and racing, him and his father's relationship. And then also we talked a little bit about his wedding, but then we also dug into like how he got through his cancer. You know what I mean? So people can actually see the person side, like the people sides I see in everybody.
Yes.
Like when I talked to Langdon, I didn't talk to him about race. I talked to him how he dissects everything he does by numbers. Like he knows all the dissection of the reaction time and everything that goes along with it. You get what I mean? Then I had to show where I talked with my Matco distributors, right? Well, I talked to them, and these two were from totally different ends of the spectrum, but we had a distributor on the show, and it was crazy because he told his story about how he didn't have a dime. He couldn't even get his credit process, and he stayed after till he got in because that's what he needed to make it better for his family. A true success story where you're talking about from rags to riches. That was the story. You get what I mean? And,
yeah.
I mean, he touched me when I heard the story at Expo. Gary did, and then Big E, and then I had Wild Bill from up in north up there. So we told his story, and then how he came a distributor, and how he's been so successful. So the craziest part is when I got Gary and Bill on the show, it was incredible how you see just the dynamic of how they become who they are. You know what I mean? And it's pretty special, and hopefully it moved. What I want to do, Joe, I wanted to move people to let them know that, hey, if you got something that you want to do in your life, get out your own way and make it happen. Don't just talk about it, be about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And watch how these people came through where they're at. You know what I mean? Everybody always thought Steve was just like this kid who like their family always had money. They found out that his family didn't have money, how his dad had that welding truck, and they were broke. They lived in a trailer home. You know what I mean? And his dad and his mom used to clean houses. She was a maid.
Mama K.
Mama K. Yes. I mean,
I love
and
Mama.
I mean, them people are some of the hardest working, like, brother. They just work. They just work. And that's why I have so much respect for them. And that's where I came from. I came from a working family.
No,
that's why you always see me never stop working. You know
never,
what I mean?
never quit, never stop working. Now that's a great lesson for people out there, and they got to hear it too, because you get bogged down in your life. You get bogged down with stuff, and you got to bust through, and you're doing a great job with it. Hey, like I said, I'm excited that we're back. I'm bummed that I'm not there with you guys, but the only way I get to be back out there is for you guys to do a good job this weekend and next weekend and bring the sport back. I know you're going to work real hard to do it, Antron.
We're going to give it everything we got, brother. And it's through all of our loyal fans that's been out there supporting us this whole time. And we love them, and I miss them. And I always love my fans, man. But I miss them tremendously, man. That's a part of my family that's been going, because my fans are my family too. You know what I mean? So I'm back. We're back. Hopefully everybody stays tuned. Watch us on Fox. We're going to be live on Fox. And I'm just going to let you know, the pedal is going to be to the metal, baby.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Go!
I love it. Antron, thank you so much. Go do whatever you're going to do. We really appreciate the time you took on WFO. Really appreciate it.
Well, Joe, I'm glad I'm starting off on your show. Hopefully I get to talk to you next week, man.
Yeah, winter show.
Hey, all I can tell you is I'm going to be WFOing this weekend, baby.
I know you are. Go get him. AB, thank you so much. There we go. Antron Brown with us here on WFO. How about that? Love that guy, obviously. Who doesn't? That's one thing that you don't find is somebody that doesn't like Antron Brown. Like, you might have another favorite driver, someone you like, that's your guy. But you're not going to run into anybody that doesn't like Antron. But I don't like the dude. It doesn't happen. But really, the big news is the call out of Peter Biondo. That's the big news. The Terminator has been called out on WFO radio. If you're a sportsman racer or someone connected to Peter, you should probably share the show so that he can see the big call out that happened. That was not planned. It just went down. All right, next guest who's been patiently waiting and hopefully very entertained will be driving. You know him from the Pro Mod universe. But he has made some runs in a Nitro Funny car, and he's going to get a shot, not this weekend, next weekend, to drive the Wilkerson second car. Daniel's in it this weekend, and Mr. Chad Green will be running it next weekend. Chad, welcome to WFO. How are you?
Great, Joe. How are you?
What do you think of Antron Brown?
Oh, let me tell you, I just enjoyed listening to that interview so much. I know Antron. He's a friend of mine, and he's got some really great ideas there, I have to say. And, yeah, very entertaining guy.
You like the idea of adding, that was a very, I think it would be controversial to add driver reaction time into the qualifying mix. But if you really think about what he's saying, why not? Why wouldn't you want the combination of driver and car to have something to do with qualifying? Every other form of racing, its driver ability is taken into account. If you can't drive the car, you can't qualify on the front. So it makes sense. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's something that was a very interesting segment there. It's something that I've never really thought about,
Me either.
Yeah, but it made a lot of sense, and I actually liked the idea. I thought, it's not like I would make my decision so quickly based off of that, but, I'd want to think about it some more. But it seemed very interesting, and yeah, why not?
Why not? All right, so let's talk about your big opportunity. I want to make sure everybody knows that Wilk and Daniel are running the cars this weekend. Then Daniel broke the news on WFO radio that he was going to do it. That was very exciting with Alan Reinhart a couple of weeks ago. Just popped in on the show. And I know you and Wilk are buds. You guys are friends. And I knew that. I found that out because, you licensed in the car a while ago. But when you had an incident in Bristol a couple of years ago, one of the first people on the scene was Tim Wilkerson, came down there, worked with you. You guys had a moment. I was standing right there. I was like, oh, man, these guys are friends. And now you're going to be out there. Here's the car. Car looks fantastic. Bond Coat, that's your company. And just talk about how it all came together that you decided now is the time to do this.
Well, that's interesting. It's not something that was really planned, Joe. It came about, me buying the stuff at the end of last year. The opportunity came about. It wasn't something I was thinking about at the time. It's just an opportunity came about, and it's one of those that I had to take. As far as me driving the car, we didn't have any immediate plans for this year for me to drive the car. We had some different ideas what we might do with the car. But, here a month or so back, a couple months back, Tim called me and said, hey, what do you think about driving it at one of these Indy races? And I was a little hesitant at first, I have to say, because it's been about a year and a half since I've been in one, but I was like, why the heck not? That sounds like a great idea. I know it'll be the race that I'm coming back to, at my first race in NHRA since my accident last year. And not only that, it'll be at Indy. So why not? It seems like a great comeback to me. And I was a little nervous at first, but the closer it gets, the more excited I am. I'm really, really fired up about it now.
Let's talk about it, because it's just a matter of fact that some people only pay attention to the Mellow Yellow series and your E3 Sparkplugs Pro Modified series career. You've had a lot of really quick runs. You work with Dean Marinas and, of course, Pat Musey. You got a really quick and fast nitrous car, and that thing is suspended, and so it's really challenging to drive, but had a wicked incident right here at Lucas Oil Raceway at the U.S. Nationals. And, you'll go to great extremes for an incredible photograph, apparently.
Yeah, that is, I guess that is a good photograph there. But, yeah, that was a serious moment, though, in my racing career. I was definitely badly injured in that, broke my back badly. And I really feel so fortunate to be able to come back and race, again, and especially this soon. It's for the injury I had, this is really soon to be able to be back. And I'm 100%, thanks to God, thanks to, I had one of the best surgeons, that there is for back there in Indy. So, I was very lucky. I feel very fortunate. And so, yeah, this opportunity came about. I must seize the opportunity, of course.
So let's dive a little deeper. We're a hardcore racing show. The people who watch, they get the deal with the drivers and why you do it. But you've been through, that was a nasty spill. And here you are, you're about to get into a nitro funny car. And so clearly you're driven to do this. You're a successful business person. You've had success, Bond Coat. People need to understand that has to do with like drilling and it makes the process easier, and you've been successful. But explain the determination to drive these cars and what it does for you and why some would walk away. and some who aren't racers would want to walk away. You're not walking away. You're getting into something quicker and faster.
Yeah. And I guess that's just one of those things. It's different people. I've had so many people actually since my accident, come to me and say, how in the world could you get back in one of those, after that? And to me, it was never a question. I mean, it's not like in these cars, especially the Pro Mods, they're a very dangerous car to drive, very volatile, easy to crash. But at the same time, it doesn't scare me to get back in there because I know exactly what happened to cause that. I know exactly what I did in that situation to cause that. It's not like the car just did something random that, is out of my control. I mean, the car didn't go straight, which is out of my control, but it's how the driver reacts to that. And, clearly in competition as drivers, we push the limits sometimes. And, that was one of those cases, so, it doesn't scare me at all. As a matter of fact, during the off season here, we've probably put 50 laps on the Pro Mod. So I've made a lot of runs since that accident's happened now.
That's great. Now, the Mellow Yellow series, professional drag racing happens at all levels. It depends on the person, but in the end, the Mellow Yellow series is what ends up on Fox Sports. And that's what's super exciting about it. We have to pick these cars, the nitro cars, pro stock motorcycle, and you're going to be able to stage up against Cruz Pedregon and Ron Capps and Tim Wilkerson and these guys and girls that are like some of the best that we have to offer. And that's just got to be exciting for someone who's loves drag racing the way you do. But at the same time, to dwell on that too much, you can't let that get in your head. So how are you handling it?
No, I mean, that's something, I don't think about that a whole lot, but it is. I mean, that makes it really so exciting. I know, when next weekend comes around and I'm sitting in the staging lanes, with these other guys that you just mentioned, there's definitely going to be some excitement there. But, when I came to First Race Pro Mod in NHRA, it was the same way. I mean, there's some really great racers that's been doing it for years and years that I went up against. And it's one of those things when you get in the car, Joe, and you're ready to make a run, all that stuff goes away. And all you're thinking about is, what you got to do there. You're not thinking about how many fans are in the stands looking at you or who's watching you. At least for me, that is for me. I'm thinking about, driving that race car down the racetrack and really focused. But prior to that, in the staging lane, stuff like that, it's going to add some super excitement. I guarantee you. I remember, the first time I drove a nitro funny car, I did it at the Phoenix test session. And my very first run, I was sitting in the line with those same guys that you just mentioned. So I had that feeling then, even worse because I'd never made a run in the car, so I kind of know what to expect there, but I'm so excited.
Talk a little bit about how they drive different in that, very often we speak with these like veteran drivers like Antron. He's made so many laps and so many runs, and the newness of it, don't get me wrong, it's totally an extreme thing no matter how many runs you make. It's crazy. But you're at the relative beginning of your learning curve in the nitro cars. Pro Mod, you've been down the track a lot. I understand the Pro Mod cars are very challenging to drive because of all the weight shifting and moving around. Now you've got a solid suspension, and it's just brute power, 11,000 horsepower. So take us in the car with you and try to describe what it's like in the experience of driving one of those.
Definitely. I mean, it's two total different experiences, I can tell you, and you drive the cars two totally different ways. I've made, in a nitro funny car, I've made, I think 21 runs now. So nothing like, in a Pro Mod. And I would say the main difference in it, Joe, first off, in a Pro Mod, when you let go of the button, I leave on a trans brake button. When you let go of the button, for the first second or so, the Pro Mod's carrying the wheels in the air, and you can't really do much driving at that point till the wheels come down. And then the driving has to be, very delicate, like you're driving on ice, pretty much. Funny cars, total opposite. I mean, when you step on that gas, that first second of the run is when you need to be doing most of driving, making sure that car is pointed straight. Because when it gets out there, a couple hundred feet. It's just amazing, how those things take off, and you're going to go where you're pointed, So that's the best way I can describe it. What in my mind is, in a pro mod, you don't do much for the first second. And in a funny car, you do a lot in the first second. So when I get into two different cars, that's kind of what's in my mind.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And that's a good, that's what everyone says. Like when the clutch locks up, that's what separates the nitro cars from anything else on earth. That you're launching again when you're already going over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. And it's a really awesome feeling, something that's hard to describe to people, but it's crazy how much when those cars get out there a couple hundred feet, they take off, and, pro mod's going 250 miles an hour, but there's just no comparison, really. It's just no comparison in the speed and the power. It's just broad root power, like you said. And, you got to have the thing going where you want it to at that point.
I love hearing you talk about it. Now, what about the pro mod schedule, though? And how much of this is going to continue? And my opinion is, I think Wilk is trying to get you hooked. That's what I think. I think Wilk is like feeding you. He's feeding you the deal a little bit, so that we can get you out there on a full-time basis. And I think he's very smart to do that, because right now, this is a critical time. There are people, and you know this, that you have a plan, and someday I'll get to the plan, and it's something I want to do at some point. Now is the time for that person in drag racing. Drag racing needs guys like you right now to step up and be a part of this sport, so that we've got a sport to go around the country with as soon as people get better. It's a tough go of it. And I think Wilk knows that. And I know you're interested, but speak on that and what your plan is for Pro Mod too, because you got these guys and that amazing car, very competitive over there. So just talk about your plans for the rest of the year.
Well, yeah, exactly, Joe. I mean, first off, I'm already hooked. I mean, I'm hooked on the funny cars. If I could go drive one full time, I would love to do that. Hopefully, we can have a good performance. I think hopefully we'll go out there and hurt some feelings this next weekend. Hopefully Daniel will do that this weekend. I'm excited to see the car run, see him kind of shake it down. It's a new car. So, that's one of the reasons why he's running the first this weekend. And, next weekend we're going to test, make at least one lap on Friday, I believe. So that'll be good. But yeah, I mean, it's it's one of those things, like I said, it's not planned, but it is good timing. A lot of the things, when it comes to me getting in a funny car, has to do with, sponsorship and those sort of things, which we're actively working on. So, to say right now, we don't have any plans necessarily to run the car anymore this year, but we also don't have plans not to. I mean, that could all change, hopefully we can go out there, have some good performance, and we'll just see what happens. But yeah, we're all excited. Well,
Chad, I think it is great. It has been fun watching you just go through the process, but now the ultimate step, attempting to qualify for an NHRA Mellow Yellow Series race in a Nitro Funny car with Tim Wilkerson, who is one of the best people out there. He's got speaking of legions of fans, Wilk's got his warriors. They love him for a reason. He's a great guy. He's got a great sense of humor. He knows how to keep things in perspective, and we want to see him be successful as well. So good luck to you guys, Daniel and Tim this weekend, you next weekend with Tim. And thank you for coming on WFO, and let's keep it going. Let's keep you out there as often as you want to be.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate it, buddy. And I didn't really get to say this a second ago, but we are planning to run the whole year in Pro Mod. So yeah, we're gonna be fighting for the championship there. That's our plan. So
that's what we like to hear. All right.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Thank you so much for having me, buddy.
All right, Chad. Hey, real quick, for people out there, they want to connect with you and follow this experience. You getting the social media up? You getting everything up and running so they can kind of follow Chad Green?
Oh yeah, definitely. Chad Green Motorsports. We're on Instagram and Facebook. Just look us up, Chad Green Motorsports. We're there. We got a webpage, chadgreenmotorsports.com. So yeah, lots of cool videos, lots of good stuff. We got merchandise on the website. Got a new partner we've hooked up with this year, Boxo Tools. So have some information on them as well. So yes.
Good deal. All right, Chad. Got the merch. That means you're a pro. I love it. All right, Chad. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Joe. See you soon, buddy.
Here he goes. Chad Green. Way to go, Chad. Thank you so much. Chad going out there, and great guy, as you can tell, I'm sure. But I'm super excited for his career. And I want him to be out there as often as he can be out there. I think it'll be great. Hey, before we get to our next guest, Kid Chaos, Kyle Koretsky, speaking of a young and upcoming superstar in drag racing, I want you guys to know that if you would like some WFO radio stickers like these, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address on your screen, P.O. Box 848-353, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33084. And I will load up the envelope with some stickers. And some people are like, putting on the appropriate amount of postage. Some people are putting on like way more postage. And I got a little sticker package that I sent, like 4 old school ones, 4 of these new ones. If I got an NHRA sticker around, I'll throw it in there, that kind of deal. But the bottom line is P.O. Box 848-353, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33084, Castello Media /WFO stickers. And I will send you some stickers for those that want to support the WFO brand. And if you want a WFO radio t-shirt like this one, the Podfather of Drag Racing 10-year anniversary t-shirt, go to nitrofishracing.com and use the promo code WFO20. Not only can you get 20% off on WFO stuff, but on everything that they got, which is exciting. If you would like a WFO mask, you are out of luck because we are out of stock because everybody wanted them. I was very surprised at how well the masks did, but I've got one here and we'll have more coming real soon. We're the mask people. That's how we're going to race. All right. Coming up next, he is one of the young stars in Pro Stock Factory Hot Rods. 22 cars attempting to qualify for 16 positions. Got KB Power, and he is Kyle Koretsky, Kid Chaos, joining us for the first time on WFO. What's up, Kyle? I'm not hearing Kyle. I see him moving. I'm not hearing you. But sometimes he says, one moment, please. I'll do his voice. Hey, Joe, welcome to the show. That's great. Yeah, for whatever reason, just pull that thing off. Let's just go with it. Because we did a test earlier. Everybody needs to know that. Kyle, I'm going to kick you out. Come back in. We're going to kick you out, and you'll come back in, and then it'll work. That's the way it does. Kyle Koretsky, Kid Chaos. He's got the Bluetooth. He's doing the thing. We did a test, faxed it all out. But they're heading down the road. And so when he reconnects, we will be good. Now, we got a new Ignition show in the archive, and we got NHRA Reinhardt on there early in the week. So we have been breaking down this whole event where everybody is going out there. The John Force Racing, not going to be a part of the action. You heard Antron mention that Red is back on his team on the number 2 car. It's got to be very bit much of a bummer, but that's part of racing, business decisions. All right, let's see if we got Kid Chaos back. Kyle, how about now? I still got I still got no audio. Work it. I'm going to leave you on there. We're going to leave you on there. And let's see. How about here? You just turned it off. Now you turned it on. You muted his mic. Turn up the volume. Let him keep doing the thing. And when your audio pops on, I'll know. I'm going to keep talking to people. And we got Mark out there, says he'll be sporting the WFO mask at Indy. That's good. And this got the old school ones. We did a test earlier. And I think, Kyle, this is like you're in the car, Kyle, and now you got a critical situation, like the line lock's not working or something. You got to figure it out. But we'll do it. Envelope on the way. Excellent, Mark. Thank you very much. Yeah, people have been sending envelopes like wildfire since we've been doing these shows. Subscribe, click the bell. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, follow our Twitter account. Let's try now. Here we go.
How about now?
Victory.
All right. Got back to the old iPhone.
There it is. Yeah. What was that? An iPad?
Yeah, that was an iPad. We're driving down Turnpike. So
for whatever reason, the phones work way better than the iPads. The iPad's got some sort of like privacy setting that prevents it. Antron had that problem early on. But forget about that. Kid Chaos, welcome to the show. Kenny Koretsky is your dad. What is that like? What is that like?
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but for the most part, it's good. And, he's one of a kind, Captain Chaos, and he's definitely chaos, that's for sure.
Now, I'm sure everybody listening is saying the kid sounds just like his dad, which is cool. You have wanted to be involved in Pro Stock for a long time. You thought that maybe you wouldn't get the opportunity, and now you are. So tell us about getting your license and running down in Orlando. There's you and your dad. Your journey to this point.
Oh, man. I mean, this is a dream come true. Watching my dad growing up, he raced Pro Stock, and we do a little bit of bracket racing, but Pro Stock was kind of the main thing that I wanted to do for my career in the racing world. And, getting the opportunity to race with KB and Ken Judy Black and Greg Anderson and Jason Line and all that. It's been great. The time we had to wait, for the right opportunity. And, that came along this year. And fortunate with the COVID going on, Orlando, we were there testing at the World Door Slammer Nationals. And then Gainesville kind of got put on hold. But, we're heading down 95 right now, heading to Indy.
You're headed to Indy. Now here, you got your license out there in Orlando. That had to be a great accomplishment. I know you did well down there. The cars were quick and fast. Got some photos that were sent in. Like there's one of the school fire suits.
Yeah, that was one of my dad's fire suits in 1990. My dad, he kept it around, and I actually bought that back at a draw auction because he sent it to a draw auction, said, don't send that down. I'm going to buy it, whatever it takes. And we're big supporters of draw. And that suit cost me about $5,700 to buy it back. But it was worth every penny.
That's great. Now the car, like which car is this? Is this, first of all, got a unique team, Nitro Fish on board, the Carl Franklin in the background, but which one of those KB cars is that? Is that a new car? And do you feel comfortable in it?
That's actually one of Jason Line's old cars. They had at the shop. It's a great car. It really is. It's working well. And we're happy with it. We have a new car too. We're just not ready to bring that out yet. So we'll see how this weekend goes and kind of go from there.
Now, talk about driving these cars. You mentioned bracket racing. You've driven a lot. You've had a lot of driving experience. But Pro Stock is a unique challenge. First of all, tell us how old you are, because you're part of this youth movement. We got all these young racers. We got Troy Coughlin Jr., got Aaron Stanfield, yourself, others, all part of this youth movement in Pro Stock, which is great. We got a wave coming in. Driving these cars is hard. Talk about all that goes into it.
Yeah, so I'm 31 years old, and driving a Pro Stock car is unique for sure. I'm still learning. I probably have about 40 runs under my belt at the moment. And every run, I learn something new. I'm trying to learn something new by either making a mistake or listening to, Greg Anderson or Jason Line or Bo Butner. They give me great pointers, and they set me in the right direction right from the start.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, the clutch, the shifting, like that has got to be all in perfect timing. And there doesn't seem to be a way to practice it without driving the car. So how have you been using these past couple of months to try to get ahead for this opportunity?
We have a simulator at the shop that we practice on for, reaction times and stuff like that. But, I feel the only real way to get the real experience is making laps in the Pro Stock car. So we were at Darlington last week. Last week we raced Tuesday and Wednesday, made some runs. We tested some new parts that the guys been developing at the shop. They seem to be real happy. We got a handle on the car a little bit better. And, I think everything's going in the right direction for this weekend.
And you have a lot of people to draw upon for experience, like Bo, and you've been around hanging with Vincent Nobile since you were kids and all. So almost too much opportunity for assistance. So who do you listen to? And how do you sort this out? Because you're probably getting 100 different pieces of advice.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a lot of people, but I'm pretty sure my dad's listening, so I'm going to say I listen to him for everything. But it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot to take in. I mean, Dave Connolly has taught me a lot, and Bo's been a big help. He's been there every single run that I made in Orlando when we went testing. He was there early. He's kind of been by my side. If I sees anything, he kind of tells me what to do. And Jason Line, he's been a real big help. He does all the tuning on the car motor wise, and he'll tell me, hey, Kyle, you're staging a little too, not enough RPM, raise up the RPM a little bit, or do this, do that. What do you feel? And we go back and forth testing, and he cleaned up the tunes a lot. So I feel more comfortable staging the vehicle now. I was a little sloppy at Orlando, but I feel like I'm getting better, but it's all going to take time. And I'm trying to just make myself better, every single time.
Excellent. Now, this sport requires, and I don't want to do this to you, but Carl Franklin sent me the photo, so I'm blaming Carl.
Yeah,
Right. But this sport requires sacrifice. No, go ahead if you want to trash talk Carl.
Carl, yeah, Carl's a great family friend. Been around since I was a baby. He grew up with my dad, unfortunately, but he's a great guy. He means well, and he's in the vehicle. He's in the motorhome with me right now. We're pulled over there.
Here he is. Call Cam, everybody. Everybody knows Carl Franklin.
I'm his bodyguard. Yeah.
Here it is. He is. Everybody loves Carl, but this is what Carl did to you, because the sacrifice that it takes to run pro stock. Sometimes you got to do different things. And he sent this great family photograph of you and your beautiful wife and your beautiful dog, but you have obviously sacrificed half of yourself to do this opportunity. There are people who would love to know how the heck you did that to get this, to be able to get in one of these pro stock cars.
Yeah, so pro stock is, I feel the most competitive class there is on the pro side of NHRA. I mean, and weight is huge. Rob Downing's still busting my chops now. Hey, you're about 10, 15 pounds too heavy. But it's been a long journey for sure. Weight loss has always been a struggle of mine, and racing pro stock has been my life dream. So, we kind of did things, changed some lifestyles, and we're here now.
It worked. It's a success story. You are. This is the kind of thing that people go on Oprah for. It's like you set a plan, you set a goal, you've accomplished the goal. You're going to be qualifying at Indy in hours from now, and I think it is great. And that's why we got to highlight stuff, because there are people that realize, like, man, goals can be achieved, and you're a perfect example, Kyle.
Sure.
I wish you the best of luck. You can't wait till you get through the learning period so we can see what Kid Chaos is all about. And you go out there and have the fun time that I know you're planning on having.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we plan on having a great time this year, and definitely can't wait to see you out there, Joe. And hopefully we get back to normal within the next few races, and we can bring back the fans, because, Nitro Fish is based on fan base. So we really need the fans out there to support and keep us going. And nitrofish.com and nitrofishracing.com. The fans can still buy all the merchandise there, and anything they need, just let us know.
There you go. Kyle, thank you so much. I'll let you get back on the road. Everybody needs to know you guys pulled over special for this.
Pulled over. Yep.
It's time to keep on your way to Indy. Thank you very much. Later.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Kyle. There he goes. Kid Chaos, Kyle Koretsky. And we had, internet issues because they're on the road and they're in the middle of a cell service. And the way I like to look at it is like, it's a miracle that we can even do this show. Like, how is it possible that we're even able to connect with all these different people, drivers, different locations? Antron, we had some audio pops, little things. I appreciate you dealing with that. Of course, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at WFO Joe. And our podcast, like audio of these shows, go for people who can't watch a screen all day. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. Write a review if you like the show, you like NHRA Drag Racing, so we can go up in the ranks. Please, please. And the same is true for YouTube. Subscribe, click the bell, subscribe, so you get notifications whenever there's something new. I know a lot of people are watching on the Facebook, but you can comment if you're watching on YouTube also. And all of our happy hour shows, the happy hour shows have come to an end tomorrow. And of course, nitrofishracing.com. Use that promo code WFO20. Tomorrow, we've got something kind of cool going on in that we have racing. So I've got a lot of hate mail recently about the end of the happy hour show. The WFO happy hours, I like to think, are something special that happened during this COVID crisis. So when everybody looks back years from now, they're going to say, boy, that was really terrible. Except for those happy hour shows. We learned about Ron Tobler's wine night and Kenny Youngblood. And we had a beer with Selzy, and we got to know Courtney Enders and Jason Logan. We had so many, Dom Lagana, and Dom and Bobby were great. Those are all on our YouTube page in the archive. But the first week that we're not having a happy hour show, we are going to be at DSR, and we're going to hear Tommy Johnson Jr., Ron Capps, and Fast Jack Beckman from their facility. Going to take us around and tell us what's up as DSR presents Let's Go Racing. You saw that video that they put out. Did a great job. Don Schumacher Racing. Let's just call it how it is. Like, this sport, they're bringing out a lot of cars. Without that giant, massive team that is DSR, things would be different. So we're going to feature Don Schumacher Racing as we go into Friday, 4 p.m. tomorrow Hope to see you there. All right, a couple of quick final comments, like Raymond, just emoji, man. Raymond doesn't need to say anything. He knows Carl, though. Oh, there it is. What's up, Carl? Everybody knows Carl. Raymond. And Jeff, all good. Raw entertainment at its best. Thank you. Yes, it is raw, as in you don't know what's going to happen or who's going to happen or who's going to pop in. And that's exactly as we design it. Off-season happy hours could be real. Or, look, I'm just taking it away so I can bring it back. And it'll be a big deal, the return of happy hour. Now, I shouldn't tell you guys that, but I don't mind letting you behind the curtain. That's how media works. That's why these teams change their jerseys every once in a while so that they can sell you some new stuff until they sell you the old stuff again, right? The classic, there's a big story about New Coke, right? That New Coke was just a ruse. I don't know if that's true or not. You'd think I would with all the friends that we have at Coca-Cola. Speaking of which, Mellow Yellow and our title sponsors and everybody that brings the sport of drag racing back, really appreciate it. Real quick, whip around our sponsors, the people who make it all possible, like Marvin Rodak and Rodak's Coffee. It's a small sponsor, but he's working his tail off to make coffee, and he ships it out, and it could be at your door in a couple of days. Try the Rodak's Coffee, the hot sauces, the spice rubs, everything good. And if you live in Fort Worth or Dallas, go down there and order an outdoor kitchen. Make a huge purchase from Marvin Rodak so he stays a sponsor for a long, long time. And Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology, just knocked out an episode of Hidden Horsepower, the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. But it's all to educate all of us on the benefits of Total Seal Piston Rings, whether it be their gas-ported pistons, their piston rings, their gapless piston rings, from stock eliminator, bracket cars, all the way up to Formula One. Total Seal fits the rings. And it's amazing technology. Samtech.edu working. I'm getting ready to connect with Mark Powick. Speaking of pro stock racers turned factory showdown racers, Cowboy for our first episode of Factory Stock Podcast. Scott Libisher going to be on there as well. But it's all to entice the next generation of machinists, engine builders, crew chiefs, motorsport EFI tuners to go to samtech.edu and tell them you heard about it on WFO. And, of course, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure at frankhawley.com. Really appreciate Frank and Lana Hawley for all they have done to support WFO radio. Well, kids, this is it. This is the time that the NHRA will return. I don't know why we're not hearing that. That's too bad, because that is our out music. Let me hit it again. Can you hear this? No, we can't hear anything. So we're not going to do any out music. You'll just imagine it, and I will be super happy. Final thought. For those of you going to the race, nobody likes wearing a mask. Nobody likes, maybe Spider-Man, but that's it. Nobody likes wearing this mask. It's not for our own personal fun and entertainment. It's a responsibility. And I've been using this message a little bit. Some people say it's political. It's not political. It's medical, right? This is health-based messaging and also drag racing-based messaging. You wear the mask, everybody is seen doing exactly as they're supposed to do, doing the right thing. We can continue to have races. And that goes for the drivers and the interview procedure and all that stuff. Believe me, I want to get out there. I want to be out there. And I know you do too. So let's get to the point where we can get back to racing. And how do we get back to racing? We get back racing by wearing these masks and doing the right thing and washing our hands and complying. Corey Mack told us about the hand sanitizer they're going to be handing out at the track. Do it. And for those of you at home, you're not at the track, but I recommend the same policies. That's my thought. I'm Joe Castello. Thank you so much for listening to WFO. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock, happy hour. We're going to have fun. It's going to be good. Let's Bobby Graham. Call him and make him give you a special blend. Yeah, Marvin. Call him and have him make you a special blend. He will do that. He did it for Courtney Enders in Elite Motorsports. I'm sure he'll do it for you. Yeah, my name's Roger. I live in Illinois. Yeah. No, I'm not a racer, and I'm just a guy. Yeah. Can you make me a special blend? Yeah. Great. Roger's blend? So I can have my friends buy it? Yeah. Marvin will do that. That's what's crazy about it. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Subscribe, write a review. Thanks to Kyle Koretsky, Chad Green, and Antron Brown for a great show. And don't forget, Peter Biondo, you just got called out by AB. When's that thing going to happen? We'll find out soon enough. See you next time on WFO.